And with that said, we are ready to move on with the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer block with AdirondackRick and PowerToMario with SlimKirby co-comming. Let's get started.
In the game, including Aghanim's Tower. Normally, you just need to get all 7 crystals and beat Ganon's Tower, but in this mode, we're going to be seeing every single... Okay, I need to start again. Just from the very beginning. Okay. Okay, my bad. Hey everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome to the Stacked Game Marathon. Link to the Past Randomizer race. We have a very exciting race here today between AdirondackRick and PowerToMario, 2 very experienced Link to the Past Randomizer runners in the ALTTPR community, and we're going to be seeing a race of all dungeons keysanity. Just to very quickly explain what those modes basically mean. We have keysanity, which is basically in addition to all of your, normal items and weapons and heart pieces and rupee chests and everything being randomized. Dungeon items such as maps, compasses, keys, and big keys will also be shuffled in the pools of items, so you can find them in different dungeons and also outside of dungeons as well. And we'll be also playing the all dungeons set, where we're going to be basically clearing every dungeon in the game. Normally you only have to beat the crystal dungeons, but for this setting we'll be seeing all of them. All the crystal dungeons, all the pendant dungeons, as well as Aghanim's Tower as well. So we're going to be getting the full experience of Link to the Past Randomizer here. Also want to give a quick shout out to Iceman F1. He is joining me in the commentary booth as well. He'll be handling the tracking. As you can see below the screens, we have the item trackers for both of our runners, so we can keep up to date with all the items they'll be finding throughout their journey through Hyrule. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and get our runner started here. Okay. This race should be starting in 15 seconds, so let's get ready for some randomizer action, guys. And yes, we have a very nice coordination with the file names here, which is pretty cool. Thanks to everyone for all the donations that you've given to this marathon so far. It's been a blast, and we still have a lot of marathon time to go, so let's continue to get those donations and have some fun with the Stat Game Marathon. Okay, so we are starting here in Link's house. They're going to be finding a red boomerang. Now, at the beginning here, what we're definitely seeing are both of our runners kind of take a similar approach. They're going to go to the Uncle Cave that's up here by the castle, potentially see if they can pull out a weapon from here, so they can also check out Hyrule Castle while they're in the area. But for this first part of the game, we're going to be seeing a lot of runners kind of checking the same locations, as they're going to be looking for 3 key items. They're going to be looking for a Moon Pearl and either some combination of a hammer and a glove upgrade, or both glove upgrades. That will give both of our runners Dark Worlds access, so they can, find some more items along the way. Looks like we do have our first Palace of Darkness small key. There are 6 of those in total. May not need all 6 of them, but it's definitely good to find them when you can. And just a heart piece from our uncle. So now they're going to save and quit, go to the Sanctuary. We're going to pick up a big key to Eastern Palace. That's an interesting find. That will give us an extra check in Eastern Palace. We can't complete it at this point, but it will give us, definitely something to consider, as Eastern Palace is a early game location that could potentially give us some value here. And looks like we do have a slight difference in routing. I think AdirondackRick is going to be doing the Chris Houlihan room, which is basically a room where if you go in, it's kind of a fail-safe where if the game doesn't know where to send you, it'll send you to this room instead. And in this room, you can actually find a bunch of rupees. It looks like Rick did not do it properly, though. I think he was supposed to go inside that cave before he was to do that. Meanwhile, PowerToMario finding a heart container in the Lost Woods. And yeah, I guess since he doesn't want to, lose all that time that he kind of sunk into that, Rick is just going to go ahead and move on and go straight to Kakariko from the south side. And PowerToMario getting some bombs from the forest. He's going to go ahead and save and quit as well. This is interesting. Looks like they're both, or at least, obviously we can't see Rick's screen right now, but looks like oh no, I guess PowerToMario is going to be checking the east side of Hyrule first. Just a shield on Lake Hylia, so probably not going to be coming back for that. We will try to figure out what's going on with Rick's screen meanwhile, but we'll just focus on what PowerToMario is looking at for the time being.
Is there time to read off a donation while we wait?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we have a $30 donation from Illu Weaver, and she said, "Since I got my favorite Fiery Boy drawn last marathon, let's go for my second favorite in Cyndaquil. Keep up the great work, everyone. Let's get that 2K hype." Awesome choice with Cyndaquil, by the way. And that means we have 12 slots remaining for the creative block for the Pokemon drawings later tonight. So get those donations in. $30 minimum donation for a Pokemon suggestion. Just make sure you mention in the comment when you donate through Streamlabs.
Okay. As far as stuff we've discovered during that donation read, we did find the magic powder inside the back of Sahasrarla's house, and we also got some information that the green pendant is going to be at the Palace of Darkness, which, I mean, we have to complete every single dungeon anyway, so that's not super important, but, that basically means that there could be some progression in Ganon's Tower before we, beat Eastern. But since we have the big key to Eastern already, it's pretty logical. We're probably going to be able to beat that before then anyway. But yeah, it looks like PowerToMario is using that big key that he found from Eastern to, kind of shift his direction to this location first. That's kind of one of the things you'll do in a lot of these randomizer runs, specifically races. You got to pay attention to what you get because any item you get, the next item in the progression chain could be behind that item. So, you know, kind of using that to kind of come here, maybe take a chance that maybe if Rick decides to come to this location later, you know, he'd have that item beforehand. Looks like we do have some footage back from Rick. Looks like he does have a bow, which means Eastern Palace is fully completable. Maybe not in logic, because we don't have that lamp yet, but, you know, you can do it without the lamp if you know how to navigate through dark rooms. Okay, inside the big chest of Eastern... Oh, speak of the lantern, we did find the lantern in Kakariko Village on the bottle vendor. So that means that Eastern Palace is fully beatable at this point. Well, within logic, anyway. But see, that also means that PowerToMario, since he had to dip out of Eastern because he couldn't finish it, he's going to have to go back there. So that will cost a little bit of time on his end, though. But we're going to be able to see a lot of what we kind of missed from Rick's end, from the little stream outage there, as PTM is going to be checking all the stuff that Rick has now already gone through at this point. Ooh, looks like we do have our first sword upgrade here in Kakariko as well. We're going to go to the other highly item-stacked location here in Kakariko as well. PTM just having just enough bombs to crack open that wall. And there was where the bow was located, and I can see from his webcam he's already kind of wishing that he didn't go to Eastern first. And also finds a small key to Ganon's Tower as well. That's the funny thing about having these webcams to kind of view reactions and stuff. Because I've been there as a randomizer runner myself, who's played a number of these seeds. I know that feeling. When you go to a place early, can't beat it, but then later you find out, oh, all the items I could have beaten it were on the other direction, so... Just one of those things you gotta make your peace with sometimes when you're running one of these, especially in a race setting. Okay, looks like we have another small key to Ganon's Tower, also in Kakariko. And it looks like, I guess, PowerToMario is going back to Eastern Palace. Which is a bit of an interesting play. I think maybe he just might figure that, well, he doesn't want to miss an item that Rick could potentially get before he does. But, you know, there's a lot of items still in the light world. Like, we don't even have any of the dark world items yet. So, and there's still, like, a lot of locations, especially in South Hyrule. So, there could be plenty of value there. We could get something that could send us up to Death Mountain as well. So instead, we're going to be just seeing both of our runners go through Eastern Palace here. I believe at this point we are definitely caught up with items. I know we haven't seen what's at like the race game or the library just yet, because that's when Rick's screen was kind of gone black, but haven't noticed anything major in like as far as the item inventories are concerned, so may not be something super significant yet. So we're going to see what's PTM skipped out on having a little bit earlier. He could have gone over here and gotten this chest, but decided not to. I didn't quite see that message because it kind of lagged, but we'll see it again shortly, so... Oh, another small key to Dark Palace. Well, you seem to be finding a lot of those. But yeah, just to give a quick little history about both of these runners. Both of these runners are really good friends of mine in the Link to the Past Randomizer community. AdirondackRick, one of the first names I heavily recognized when I started running Link to the Past Randomizer, because he was always like one of the commentators I watched during a lot of the Link to the Past Randomizer tournaments when those were going on Twitch. Then I started kind of getting into Randomizer myself. He and I done a lot of commentary together in the commentary booth, so he's been playing Link to the Past Randomizer for a very long time, longer than even I have, since like 2017. PowerToMario, actually kind of an opposite story. He actually first played Link to the Past, just the vanilla game, last year for the first time. And he's come a very long way in playing this. I was someone who kind of tried to help him a lot when he first started, and these days, I honestly think that he's a much better player than I. He's come a really long way in just a short amount of time. But the Link to the Past Randomizer community has a lot of great resources, has a very active Discord community, and just lots of other communities as well. There's lots of tournaments going on at pretty much every time of the year. So there's a lot of resources that can exist, and anyone can definitely become very adept at running this in such a short period of time. And it's impressive to see both of these guys, who are very close friends of mine, play this game on this stage. And it's going to be interesting to see how this race plays out. But we did get our first dungeon clear. We did find the shovel, I believe, from the Armos Knights, so we're going to immediately see what that item is going to give us, since all we have to do here is just go to the left and dig up the item. Looks like we do have a hammer inside Mini Moldorm Cave with AdirondackRick. That's going to be a very important item. And the mirror, another important item from the shovel. Wow. Now Rick is checking the Ice Rod Cave.
Do we have time to read off another donation?
Go right ahead.
Certainly, thank you. So we have $30 donated from Tamal, and he says, donating from one of my favorite Pokemon, Slowking. But let's make it interesting and make it the Galarian form.
Ooh.
Thank you for that, Tamal. And with that, that will leave 11 slots left for the Pokemon Drawing Creative Challenge block later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum of $30 for that donation can be used to that incentive. And just leave in the comment which Pokemon you would like whenever you donate.
Yeah, we have some good Pokemon choices so far, so, you know, definitely keep those donations coming so we can see some very cool-looking fusions. But looks like we did find a Master Sword from one of Rick's checks, so he has a, a stronger sword that he can use to slay enemies, and that's the minimum sword level that we're going to need to complete this game as well, so won't have to worry about trying to find a sword after beating all the dungeons. That's a good thing. As PTM decides to check the Hyrule Castle, and does find the flippers in the very first chest, so that'll give him some aquatic checks to make. And I guess we also got a bottle as well, because Rick has made his way back to the village to check on the sick kid, but instead just going to find a map to Eastern Palace, which at this point it is useless, but maps are actually very good intel in this mode, because they actually let you know if a dungeon is going to be a crystal dungeon or a pendant dungeon. But Eastern just so happens to be the dungeon we've completed already, so we already know what that's going to give us. But still, definitely want to try to collect maps whenever you can. And compasses, on the other hand, they're not going to be that helpful in this mode, just because their really main use is going to be in boss shuffle, which can actually give you the indication of what boss you could be going up against in a dungeon. But as far as this mode's concerned, they just give you like a numbered checklist of all the items you found in a dungeon, which both of our runners are more than familiar with what checks they've made and not made. But we did actually find another great item in the Hyrule Castle. PowerToMario finds the flute. That's going to give him some additional checks as well, and I kind of mentioned the mountain, Death Mountain earlier. We can actually go up there now, so a lot of stuff we can find up there. Unfortunately, without the hammer, PTM is not going to be able to check everything, but we'll be able to at least access the Tower of Hera, kind of get 2 checks up there, get the item on the top of Spectacle Rock, inside Spectacle Rock, and can also bring the old man back to his house as well. But it actually looks like PTM is going to be heading to the southern shore first, so he will pick up that hammer. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other items in Mini Moldorm Cave, since we didn't quite get to see everything. We do get the hammer, there's that bottle. And the Moon Pearl was here as well. Dang, seems to be a lot of good items in all reaches of Hyrule today. Okay, good. PTM was able to make it to the old man cave before getting hit by too many enemies and obstacles, so is able to turn in the old man and gets rewarded for it, and also has a save and quit respawn point up here as well, which will save a little bit of time if he needs to come back to the mountain quickly. But we did also get a big key from the old man as well. I think we got the Palace of Darkness big key, and not only that, we have another big key on the mountain, and we have a small key on the inside, so Death Mountain having a lot of keys for us today. Okay, there's going to be one of our Turtle Rock small keys. We'll need to get at least 3 of them to beat that dungeon. Up here on the top of Spectacle Rock, we have another big key, the big key to Ganon's Tower. That is a very important big key. Some would say it's the most important big key. But really almost like all the big keys except like 3 or 4 of them are really important in this run, but... Okay, so we do find the cape inside Tower of Hera, and that is actually very important, at least in this stage of the game, because, actually it technically isn't, because there's a Master Sword out there that we know of. But if we don't find the, any of our glove upgrades over here, we may have to get to the Dark World through Aghanim's Tower. And, to get in there, you need to have either 2 sword upgrades or a sword upgrade in the cape. Okay, so checking out Spiral Cave first. Looks like we have another bottle, which is really just a safety item at this point. You only need 1 bottle to check out the sick kit item, and that's the only one you know, logistically need a bottle for. And PTM going to be using the cape to kind of get through this part of the mountain safely. We're going to be checking out Paradox Cave next, where we find a small key to Ice Palace and a small key to Skullwoods, both of which are not technically required, but they're good to have. They can make routing a little more efficient when we get to those dungeons. And we do have our Power Glove. And a mushroom, and the Ether Medallion. Okay, so with those finds, PowerToMario is pretty much poised to go to the Dark World now. But before he does, he's going to go ahead and turn in this mushroom. Just gets a $50 refund. decides to go ahead and use that money to buy some potions as well. Not a bad idea. Always good to have some potions in your back pocket. And it actually looks like PTM is going to be heading to the Palace of Darkness area. The interesting thing is that he can actually beat the boss of this dungeon at this point. He has the hammer, he has the bow, he has one small key and one big key. Now the thing is, Palace of Darkness is very loaded with items. And as a result, you need a good number of small keys before you can, you know, logically full clear the dungeon. So he's going to be leaving some stuff behind, but I think he's going to be going for just the clear right now. I mean, it is the green pendant. That'll give us another item check on Sahasrara as well. But yeah, this is an interesting play, and I'm actually kind of curious to see how this is going to play out for him. But well, while we're kind of looking at some things, are there any other donations or anything?
We do have one donation that just came in recently.
Okay.
So Zanny Old Coot donated $5, and he says, "Given I'm doing my own Zelda rando on Sunday, I had to tune in for the Link to the Past race. Good luck to both AdirondackRick and PTM, but there can only be one winner."
Okay, well, thank you for your donation.
Yep, and just as a reminder, if we hit the $2,000 mark by the end of this run, we will be donating a Zelda prize pack into the pool for a giveaway. So there's still time to get those donations in. Exclamation point donate in chat, or go below the stream page and click on the link for Streamlabs. And also don't forget, if you want your donation to go toward any incentives, we currently have the Pokemon drawings, 11 slots left for the creative block. Minimum $30 donation for that, and in your comment, share which Pokemon you would like the drawers to draw.
Yeah, and from the look of it, that looks like about 7 Pokemon could equal up to that $2,000 donation goal. So just, you know, putting that out there. But we are in the Palace of Darkness right now for PowerToMario. He did find the Cane of Samaria. That is going to be one of our required items to beat this game, as that will allow us to complete Turtle Rock and Misery Mire, but we obviously need some other items for that. And we also just got another important item as well. We also got a Desert Palace Big Key, which we will need to beat Desert Palace, so... Already, Coming to Pod is paying off for PTM. But we'll have to see how he decides to progress here, because he only has one small key left. So if he wants to be able to beat the boss, at least in this go-around, he can't use any other small keys. Unless he finds another one in here, which is a very real possibility. Because again, there are just a lot of items here in Palace of Darkness. So it looks like PowerToMario is going to be trying the Hammer Jump technique, which basically is a bomb jump that you can use to skip opening that key door that was at the top of this room. So you can kind of like blast yourself over to the barrier where the big chest is, and you can actually just get on that ledge without having to spend a key. So got to line this up just perfectly though, as he's using a lot of pause buffering to do this. That should do it. Or not. Okay, looks like he's just gonna abandon that plan for right now. Looks like our red crystals, which are the crystals that we need to open the Pyramid Ferry, are going to be the Desert Palace and Tower of Hera rewards. And Rick did just go through Hype Cave as well, and it looks like he did get Castle Tower small key, and I didn't see what else he got, but that was one of the main things I noticed at least. PTM is trying the Hammer Yump again. And the reason why it's called the Hammer Yump is because that's the chest where you get the hammer in the vanilla game, so... Just so there's no confusion on that. Oh, okay, looks like Iceman, our tracker, just pointed out there was a 4th Palace of Darkness small key inside Hype Cave, so... That could potentially give Rick a little more to check in Palace of Darkness when he goes there. And the man under the bridge gonna give him some bombs. Yep, looks like Rick is actually going to be heading over to Palace of Darkness next. Now, you know, I was kind of talking about earlier that there are 6 Palace of Darkness small keys, and if you want to realistically full clear the dungeon, the magic number you want to kind of have before you go in the dungeon is at least 4. Because with 4 keys, like, you're guaranteed to be able to get everything as long as you know the Hammer Yump technique. And just know the proper way to navigate the dungeon. But I personally like to have 5 because that front door, you don't necessarily have to use a key on, but it just kind of makes routing the dungeon so much more convenient. So that's basically what you want to look out for. So Rick can technically clear out this dungeon. PTM will have to come back later if he wants to get anything else in here, but he may not have to come back in here. He may have all that he needs. We'll have to just wait and see with that. So PTM going to be fighting off against the Helmosaur King. Just gonna hammer the mask a couple of times. Needs to be very careful as he is down to just 1 heart. Although he does have that blue potion if he does want to use it, but he's gonna try to power through this. Oh, okay. He wants to be safe. He doesn't want to take a death, so he's gonna go ahead and use that here. Oh, does need to be careful though, because he's once again on 1, but that should be enough. He gets him down. Yeah, the Helmosaur King is a pretty raw fight, and I mean, especially with PTM right now, like, he's actually facing off Helmosaur with, like, not only just less health than what he'd have in the vanilla game, but also has a worse sword as well, so he had to... It was a very, very raw fight for him. But now with that over, PTMS's 2nd dungeon completed. Rick is making his way to get the same dungeon clear as well. While we're kind of waiting to see what PTM does next, if there are any other donations or anything to bring up, go right ahead.
We do have a donation from Casanova64, who donated $8. There's no comment, but we are currently over $1,800 so far, getting closer to that 2K goal. And if we hit 2,000, we will enter in a Zelda prize drawing, as long as we get that met by the end of the randomizer race here. So get those donations in, there's still time. And also, if you donate at least $30, you can also submit that for a Pokemon drawing for the creative block later on tonight as well.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, there's that other Palace of Darkness small key that we found. There's the Castle Tower key, and it looks like we have a bunch of rupees as well. So that's pretty much all that we missed from Hype Cave. Or that I missed from Hype Cave anyway. And then I also saw that PTM did turn in the green pendant to Sahasrara. Unfortunately, though, it was just for a heart piece, so nothing of significant value there. Rick checking the Harmless Hellway just to find a red rupee. That's one of the checks that PTM did not get to make while he was here, so a little extra intel for Rick. But looks like he's going to use the Hammer Ump now, too. Now looks like PowerToMario is making his way up to the Village of Outcasts. Fortunately, we do not have the Thieves Town big key yet, so at this point we can only get the first 4 chests from that dungeon. But who knows, we may find it in Thieves Town. We may find it even here at the digging game as well. Oh, well, okay, well, there's a sword. I don't think that's the sword that Rick has, though. I want to say Rick's sword was, I'm going to guess Ice Rod Cave, because that's the only location I can think of that has been checked by one, but not the other. So that is the 3rd known sword upgrade of this run. It's just both of our runners have 2 different ones, since the swords are progressive. You'll always get the next one of the chain, even if you get them at different locations. And PTM finding nothing here in the back of Hyrule Castle. So where is he gonna go next? Probably Village of Outcasts, if I had to guess. Yes, I think that's exactly where he's going after he turns in the bottle to Sick Kid. I believe also with that hammer, he can also check the Magic Bat, unless he's done that already. I feel like I saw someone check that, but... Or he might just do that later. And Rick is about to go in for his fight against the Helmholtz King. He's got a little bit more health than PTM did. Also a better sword, but that's, you know, PTM didn't even use his sword, so that doesn't really factor in too much to it. PTM checking the big key chest of Skull Woods just to find some rupees. And now he's going to be making his way to the other parts of this dungeon. He's going to want to make sure that he doesn't use too many of his... Well, I mean, I guess he'll probably use one right here. But I always like to try to keep hold of one of my Skull Woods small keys just to kind of make the ending of the dungeon a little bit faster. But looks like he's going to go ahead and spend it. But we have 2 more chests to check here. Got our 3rd bottle. This one has a fairy inside of it. Looks like we have another small key to Ganon's Tower. So at this point, we're currently done with what we can explore from Skull Woods. We're going to need the big key and the fire rod to explore more. So PTM is off to look for some other items. Rick leaving Palace of Darkness, so he'll be likely heading in that direction as well. I do see a pretty significant jump on the donations there. So what do we got there, Toady?
Well, Slim, we actually did get 2 donations. Our first one is from Sizzo, who donated $30, and he says, well, I could donate for my favorite Pokemon, but I thought it would be more fun to randomly generate one instead, which ended up being Execute. Meh! Good old Sizzo. And we also have $30.38 from Meech, who says, keep up all the good work with the marathon. Had fun co-comming and hope the rest of the marathon is just as fun. Putting this money toward to see Crab Brawler drawn in the creative block. Thank you both so much for your donations. And that puts us at 9 slots available left for the creative block. So 9 more Pokemon can be requested if you donate at least $30. And in your Streamlabs donation comment, make sure to indicate which Pokemon you want.
Yeah, and if we just get 5 of those, that will reach that $2,000 goal, which will give the giveaway for the Zelda prize pack. So
there's still time, guys. Make it happen. Okay, so I don't think we've seen much from PTM's new checks, at least right now, but he is going to be heading over to the catfish area. And he's actually doing something that I try to manage whenever I play one of these seeds. He has actually not touched the Zora area yet. And since he has the mirror, not only is he going to be able to check catfish, but he's also going to be able to use the mirror, go back to the light world, and then check all the stuff in the Zora area as well. That's one of the things I really love about getting the mirror early. It just allows you to kind of efficiently route stuff in a lot more conveniently. And gonna definitely save some time. Will prevent a lot of extra trips to this general area, so definitely good to find that item early when you can. Just a compass from the catfish, but we still got 4 other items to look at, so there's got to be something good up here. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of feeling we'll find something. Okay, maybe nothing there, but trust me, we'll get something. Oh, that looks like something. Okay, that's going to be our 2nd glove upgrade. But there's also the item at King Zora himself. Need 500 rupees to get this acquisition, so let's see what we have. We got 20 rupees for 500 rupees. That does not seem like a great investment. In fact, PTM was just gonna avoid that rupee and not even pick it up. Could have got at least some of your money back, man. You don't know when you might need
40 rupees. Okay, so with the mitts, that does open a few things here and there. It does give slightly faster Dark World access here at the Village of Outcasts. Don't have to go around, you can just go straight up from Kakariko and lift the Darker Stone. Does allow us to see what's going on in the Misery Mire area. And there are also a few checks in the Dark Death Mountain area, too, that we can get to as well. But looks like PTM's going to kind of stick to his route that he was already on. Going to kind of check this area first, which is not a bad idea. You have 3 checks here in the Village of Outcasts and then 4 inside Thieves Town. With the mitts, you can also do the Blacksmith quest as well, which is an additional 3 or 4 items along the way, so definitely managing his checks appropriately. Kind of getting the greatest volume of what he can as he's going through this. Before we turn the frog blacksmith in, we're going to be checking the hammer pegs. I remember when I was younger, I thought you had to like hit all of these in a specific pattern. You don't. You just have to hit all of them. That's how much I overthought things when I was a kid. Ooh, okay, we got the Bombos medallion. That does open up Ice Palace, I believe. Also, yeah, Iceman pointing out something in the chat that I didn't even realize. PTM avoiding the money earlier, and he didn't have enough for chess game. That's just something that happens. Sometimes, like, you're kind of on autopilot when you're playing these randomizers sometimes. And, you know, even little things like that, like, you know, you just had 520 rupees. You're not really thinking about being low on rupees, but then you get to a chess game that requires 25 and you suddenly don't have enough for it. It happens. We turn in the purple chest and we do find the big key to Tower of Hera. That does give us the ability to complete that dungeon now. But before he does that, PTM going to head over to the Misery Mire area. He's going to be able to pick up a few things here. He can also see if he can actually enter Misery Mire if he so chooses. But without the boots and the hookshot, he's not going to get very far. Because there's a gap that he is not going to be able to cross just yet. So hopefully he remembers that. And looks like we can't even get in the dungeon anyway because we need the Quake Medallion. And we get a small key to Skullwoods. Not required, but it will make finishing that a little faster, like seconds faster, so I'd take it. Okay, so it looks like we did get another donation in.
We sure did. So we have $30 donated from K-Man, who says, donating to see my good boy, Delibird, drawn as a Pokemon. Now, if only he could fuse with Trubbish and bring about the ultimate garbage man.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Excellent choice. Wait for the man. Can someone maybe donate for Trubbish? And we do officially have 8 slots left, though, for the creative block for the Pokemon drawings. Minimum donation of $30. And in your Streamlabs comment, you can suggest which Pokemon you would like the drawers to create.
Okay, so with the big key to Desert Palace that we found in the Palace of Darkness, PTM is going to go ahead and finish this dungeon. Has to fight Land Molus. Unfortunately, he has to use... I mean, he has some other options. Looks like he's kind of choosing a combination of just vanilla, no major glitches strats with just the bow, and using some sword spins whenever he can. Would be a lot faster if he had silvers or one of the magic rods, but unfortunately gonna have to just use what he has right now. So we find a small key to Castle Tower. Okay, that is good. We found both Castle Tower keys. That is also known as Aghanim's Tower. It's the kind of mini dungeon you have to do in between the Light World and Dark World sections of the game in the the vanilla game. That is one of the dungeons we do have to beat for the all dungeons criteria. So at some point before we fight Ganon, we'll have to get that dungeon done. Usually the best case scenario is being able to do that right after completing Ganon's Tower, because you'll appear right on the pyramid and you can just mirror and do that dungeon very quickly. So PTM is likely gonna do that, wait for that moment before he clears that. We actually had kind of a virtual high five there as Rick was leaving the Mire Shed. PTM was entering, but slightly different story. Although really, I mean, at this point, looking at their items, Rick is really just the Desert Palace boss completion behind. So this is actually looking to be a pretty close race at the moment. Okay, just a heart container on the torch, so we don't need to come back with boots, but there is a small key to Desert Palace, and that does lock 2 other chests in here, so that's something our runners will have to consider as well, at some point, maybe during like a Mire completion or a Mire exploration. If you find that small key to Desert, you may want to pop back in to get those final 2 items in case there's, something in there, something that we could use. And it looks like PTM is going to be getting his 3rd sword upgrade now, or technically his 2nd upgrade. But the 3rd sword, the level 3 sword, I guess is as it's more traditionally known. As I believe that is where the Master Sword that Rick has was found. So we know that Rick still has to go to the digging game to get the other sword. And it looks like PowerToMario is going to be heading to Ice Palace next. Now, Ice Palace is notorious for being one of those dungeons that as a child you just always thought, I hate this dungeon. And, it's a very fair dungeon to despise. There's a lot of enemies here that deal a lot of damage. There's a kind of a tricky crystal switch puzzle at the very end of it. It's kind of a long dungeon too, so if you get to the very end and die, you have to go through all of it again. But thankfully with Randomizer, there's ways to kind of speed this process up, especially with keysanity. And we'll definitely see some of these strats right here as we go through this. And you know what? Kingo says that he still hates this dungeon as an adult. Honestly, that's fair. That's fair. Has ice physics. I mean, who likes ice physics? Come on. Oh wait, I think he has to go to this crystal switch room first, but there is actually a trick that we could be seeing here from PowerToMario. It looks like we are going to be doing it. I don't know all the in and outs of this trick, but it requires the can of Samaria, and this trick is called Icebreaker. Basically, if you use a Samaria block right here at the right positioning, you can kind of squeeze yourself through the barrier here, and this allows you to go straight to the big key chest. You can go upstairs, get the other two items, and you're pretty much in the main part of the dungeon without even having to do like the former Ice Palace bomb jump. So it's definitely become a much faster way to route Ice Palace. And because he hit that crystal switch, he doesn't have to worry about changing any crystal switches. He can still just drop down into the boss room or the boss area. So definitely a good trick to learn. Unfortunately, since we do not have the big key to Ice Palace, we're not going to be able to check the big chest. But there is one other chest we can check, and that's what PTM is going to be doing right now. Just had to go back upstairs and then go around this little backwards L loop, I guess you could call it. And we have the Pegasus boots. So yeah, I guess you could say Umbreon has learned extreme speed. I don't know if Umbreon can actually learn extreme speed, but this is a very special Umbreon. That would be a good move for it, I agree. Okay, so PTM is going up against Cold Stare. Does have to be kind of careful, because Cold Stare does hurt. And, yeah, be careful, PTM. He might have a fairy still, though, so he might be fine. Either way, but still. May want to save that fairy for something else. Okay, just a red rupee. Does get, looks like our second pendant. But this is all dungeons. We'll have to get all bosses down anyway, so that's just part of the game here.
And would it be okay to interject with a donation?
It would be more than okay.
Okay, we are officially at the $1,900 mark. So we're just $100 away from the $2,000 mark for us to donate a Zelda prize pack as part of the drawing, as long as we can make it by the end of this run. Keep it going, guys. And our donation is $9.38 from Twitch Nick, who also is celebrating with $1,900 hype. And just a reminder, guys, for $30 minimum donations, we do have 8 slots left for the Pokemon drawings for the creative block later tonight. If you donate at least $30, you can put in your comment to suggest which Pokemon you would like drawn, and the drawings will be fused into a unique creation. You all decide that fate. $30, comment on what you like, make it happen.
Yep, and we still have some time to go here. So, like, we've only seen 4 bosses be eliminated. We have a couple more to go, so we still have plenty of time to get those donations done. Checking the Bonk Rocks to the left of the Sanctuary, we do find a big key. A big key to Turtle Rock, to be specific. That is a required big key, so that is a good find. But we still need, not only do we still need 2 small keys for Turtle Rock, but we also need both magic rods as well, so Turtle Rock is definitely not on the menu just yet. Okay, so it looks like PTM is heading back up to Hyrule Castle. Now, at this point, because he does have the boots, he might be checking... well, for one, he needs to check the chest here that's in the sewers, because we have not seen that yet. But there are actually 2 chests inside Castle Tower, which could have items. And at that point, he might as well just, you know, beat the tower. He has both Castle Tower keys, he can do that. May as well just get it done right now. And that will also open up the Lumberjack tree as well, so... kind of making a good use of not only like where he is right now, but also just the items he's recently found. So, kind of doing this very efficiently. As AdirondackRick is going into Thieves Town, I don't think we've seen these 4 chests yet, so this could actually give us some new information. And it does. We immediately find the Ice Rod, so that's one of the 2 magic rods we need to beat the game. There was the single arrow, an item we don't need to beat the game. But PowerToMario does find the blue mail inside Castle Tower. So his defense has essentially gotten better. He'll take less damage from things. And he also finds a small key to Hyrule Castle, which he's not going to need at this point. But going back to Rick's side, we got a map to Turtle Rock, and our 4th and final bottle, so we now know where all the bottles are. Not that that really helps us too much, but it's something, it's something. But yeah, PTM has to climb the tower and finish off the Aghanim fight. Rick is kind of still tracing some things that PTM has already done. And we... Ooh, okay. I think we have some announcements to make, Toady.
We certainly do. So we had 2 nations just come in. We have $30 from Scooter, who says, so you would think me, big boy Scooter, would have a favorite Pokemon that reflects me? Nah. Can I just see Joltik, please?
I knew it.
So that leaves 7 slots left. And actually, we have $70 from Scottman895, officially bringing us up to $2,000. So thanks so much, guys. We officially met the mark. We will have a Zelda prize thrown in at the end of this run. So thank you all so much for your donations. And for Scottman's comment, he also says, in dedication to this run, it's only right to have Umbreon be drawn in the drawing challenge as well. So we
Aw.
are now down to 6 spots left. So if you guys would still like to fill up those slots, minimum of $30 for your donation can be submitted, and you can put in your donation comment which Pokemon you would like.
Awesome. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for donating to a great cause.
Awesome job, guys. Thank you all so much.
Okay, so getting back to PTM. He is fighting Aghanim. Now, if you remember from this fight, you can only reflect the glowing energy ball attacks, not the blue ones. But it's not going to be RNG like it is in the vanilla game. Both runners will have the same patterns to deal with. So the developers of the randomizer made it that way, so in like a race setting, like someone doesn't win the race just because they got better RNG in a fight like this, which is always appreciated. But sometimes you can still have some very long fights if they doesn't send the right attacks at you. Okay, so, you know, we're still a little ways from being in what I like to call the concept of Go mode. And basically, what Go mode means is that you essentially have every item you need to complete the game. So at that point, you can stop checking chests, you can just go straight through, beat all the bosses, and, you know, essentially just finish the game. So until we're in that state, the runners are obviously going to keep on checking stuff. And at this point, the items we're still looking for, we still need to find that fire rod. That will be required to get in some of the dungeons. We still need the hook shot. That's going to be required for not just Swamp Palace, but could also be required to, you know, get through. Well, actually, we have the boots that won't be needed for Misery Mire, but for Ganon's Tower, we'll need that as well. We do need the Quake Medallion. We did see that that was the medallion requirement for Misery Mire. We still need the big key to Misery Mire. We still need the big key to Thieves Town. And it looks like we still need a Turtle Rock small key as well. So those are the items we're essentially going to be looking for before our runners kind of enter that Go mode state I talked about. So that's just, that's how it is. Go mode is that simple. I don't see how people named Snack Attack 8 can't grasp that. Like, I really don't. But looks like AdirondackRick is now going to be going back into Tower of Hera. Now that we have the big key, we can complete this dungeon. It looks like PowerToMario is going to be following right behind and doing the same thing. Now, one big difference between our runners, and you can clearly see it by just how they're moving, is because PTM did go to Ice Palace, he does have those Pegasus boots, and essentially because he has those boots, he's going to be just in general making a lot faster movement than Rick. So, you know, Rick is going to be kind of essentially losing time for every minute he doesn't have the boots and PTM does. That's just, you know, kind of the nature of how some of these races kind of come down and what items you find. But you know, if Rick keeps following this path and he does find something that will kind of push him down a different route, and PTM doesn't check that for a while, that could easily kind of switch the race in his favor. So it's definitely not over yet. We still have plenty of items to find, and we still have a lot of race to be had here. So it's definitely not over yet. But PTM definitely has the slight advantage at this point with those boots, just because of his faster movement at the time. But Rick does take down Moldorm at the top of Tower of Hera. That'll get him his 4th dungeon clear. Yep, looks like PTM will be following in right after him. Okay, so now that we do have the Titan's Mitts, we can lift up this stone and we can actually check out the Dark Death Mountain checks. We only have, well, Rick can only make 2 of the checks right now, but we will get some information on Turtle Rock, which is the Ether Medallion required, which actually means that he can go inside and get a few items. Not going to be able to finish the dungeon because he doesn't have the fire rod or the small keys, but, you know, both of those things could be in the dungeon right there, or they could be over here under the doormat, I guess you could say. So that's the crazy thing about Randomizer is, you know, sometimes you don't have to look as far away from where the items normally are to find them. Sometimes they could be just, you know, where they're supposed to be. Unfortunately, though, we just get a map of Skullwoods and 20 rupees, so that is not going to be the answer. PTM does take down Moldorm, which will give him his 5th, technically 6th dungeon clear, since he has also cleared Castle Tower as well. So, definitely making some good time. But we are going to go ahead and go inside Turtle Rock here. And if PTM does the same, he'll have a little more to check since he has 1 additional small key. But at the same time, you know, it could send him further into the dungeon when he doesn't need to go that far, too. So we'll just have to see how that kind of pays out for him. Rick trying to be careful, but looks like that is all that he's going to be able to check in here.
Do we have time to announce another donation?
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Zebra donated $30, and he commented, "Can I get a little Wii the Fampy for the Pokemon drawings?" You certainly can. Thank you for that donation. Yeah. And that puts us down to 5 slots left for the community or the creative drawing later on this evening.
Yeah, thanks, Zabrag. Okay, so yep, Rick has checked all that he can currently on Dark Death Mountain, so he's going to need to, I mean, at least we know that he's going to need to head over to Ice Palace at some point so he can get those Pegasus boots, and of course just another dungeon clear. Like I said, PTM does have that additional small key to Turtle Rock, so he's going to be able to advance a little further in here. In fact, I believe with what he has, assuming he doesn't spend a key too early, he can actually go all the way to Laser Bridge, which is basically 2 rooms before the boss. And there are like 4 chests in that room. I think there's like 2 other chests along the way. So, you know, we do have 6 additional checks. I think we have a 7th one on top of that with a Mimic Cave. So, I'm going to want to make sure that he doesn't accidentally use the key on this door right here, as that's a mistake that I tend to make a lot when I'm doing this. But, oh, he remembered. Okay, he almost opened it. He kind of got me freaked out there for a second, but he pulled away just in time. Good on him. As Rick does check, the Pyramid Fairy does find one of the small keys to Turtle Rock. Bet he's not exactly happy for finding that after just leaving Turtle Rock, but hey, we know that there's a 3rd key over here somewhere, so at the very least, if he finds that, he knows that he can actually get more from that when he does go back, so that's something. But it looks like he is going to be heading over to Ice Palace now, and that's good, because I believe, I mean, he's going to get the boots, but he's also, I think, going to find that Turtle Rock small key as well, so. And that's going to allow him to kind of get some ground back. As PTM checks Mimic Cave to find a small key to Misery Mire, which we can still do nothing with that dungeon yet until we find the Quake Medallion. And, well, we can't finish until we have the big key either. So that dungeon's still a little ways away. Ooh, PTM finds the hook shots. That's a very, very important and good item that'll allow him to check some additional treasure chests after he finishes this dungeon, so definitely a good find for him. Looking like a visit to Swamp Palace is going to be in his future as well. He has the small key for it, which, that's the funny thing about Swamp Palace. It's one of the dungeons where you don't need the big key, but you need a small key to even really do much in that dungeon, so PTM is pretty much good there, has all the other items he needs to complete it and enter it as well, so that's going to likely be his next stop. But before we go in that direction, we are going to go ahead and check out Laser Bridge for a small key to Desert, a green rupee, a compass to Tower of Hera, and a blue rupee. So nothing. I mean, the small key to Desert's good. That's going to be 2 additional items we can get, but if those are nothing, then, you know, not a very hype Laser Bridge, but I think right now PTM's more focused on checking Hookshot Cave. So he's going to be going back around again so he can check that before he heads to Swamp. And yeah, with the well, no, never mind. We still need that Quake Medallion before we can go to Mire. I keep forgetting about that. Okay, so here we are in Hookshot Cave. We already checked one of them. You can get that chest at the bottom by using the boots, but the other 3 chests, unless you know how to do the hovering technique, you have to use the hook shot for. Unfortunately, just found a shield in here, so nothing of super value there, but like I said before, I think Swamp is going to be the bigger target at this point. It's actually kind of neat that we're going to Swamp Palace because there's some additional techniques that have been discovered. At least I think since the last time this was showcased in an SGM, or actually no, I think this technique was actually discovered by then. But let's just say you'll more than likely see some tech that'll make getting through Swamp Palace a little faster, at least in terms of checking stuff. Okay, well, we find the Book of Medora in the first chest in Swamp Palace. Really only opens up 2 locations. It also gives us knowledge for what's going to be on the pedestal as well. At this point, not really sure if there's going to be anything on pedestal, but, you know, you never know. Unfortunately, we do not have the big key, so we can't check what's in that big chest. And yep, we are going to be seeing that technique I was talking about. So PTM's going to be doing something that's called Diver Down. Basically, this is a strat that'll allow him to essentially walk on the water here, when normally you'd obviously swim. And because of that, you can actually enter the door up here, so you can grab this small key. You have to kind of, like, once again, kind of shove yourself into the barrier there, jump down, and you're essentially just walking on the water. So you can go up there, grab that small key. That'll also, because he did that bomb delay on the crystal switch, that allows the switch to pop back up. And that's going to allow him to just go through here without going all the way around to hit that switch again. So it does save quite a bit of time and door transitions. And you can actually do it again coming up in the second part of this dungeon to kind of navigate the back faster as well. So and there is another key to Turtle Rock, so once PTM gets that fire rod, he is going to be able to complete that. Oh, and the ice rod, he still needs to get that. That is one thing Rick does have over PTM right now. And it looks like Rick is also going to be heading to Swamp Palace as well. Yeah, Iceman pretty much just said it in chat. You know, it is always very annoying when, like, you try to figure out a route and, you know, it doesn't really pay out, and then as soon as you go somewhere else, you find a key or an item that would have made that route you made before a lot more profitable. It's just one of those things you got to deal with sometimes. But yeah, here's the other application of Diver Down. It allows you to enter basically this section of the room in much of the same fashion. You kind of get into the barrier, you jump down, you're walking on water, you can check these two chests, and just immediately go through here and dash up here. You don't have to leave the statue on that one switch, you don't have to drain the water, you can just jump down, get those chests, and move on. So, you know, two things that essentially make Swamp Palace a bit faster to get through. And people are still trying to hunt for ways to make it so you don't even need flippers for this place, but I think that's going to be kind of a tall order to get that far. But who knows? I mean, there's people discovering new tricks for this game still after, what, like 20 years of this game being out? Actually, 30, I think. Yeah, 30 games. 30 years of this game being out. Okay, so PTM taking out Argus, the boss of Swamp Palace. Don't think we found anything of note. We do have a small key to Dark Palace, but I guess PTM's needing a healthy stretch right there as he's trying to figure out what to do next. But yeah, Dark Palace small key. There are a few items there technically that I don't think PTM's checked yet, but definitely probably not what he's really focused on right now. But we did get that book, so we're gonna immediately check the Bombos tablet, which is right over here. Another small key. This one is to Misery Mire. Man, where the heck is that Quake medallion? That's the question I want to know. Yeah, it looks like PTM is going to be going back to Palace of Darkness. I guess he really wants to know what he left behind here. I think he did leave a little bit behind more than Rick did. I don't think Rick found anything of major note in the checks that he did that PTM didn't, but you know, it's something that PTM has to kind of go through and check off of his list as he's trying to find something, anything, to progress this seed. But yeah, I see Sizz16 in chat mentioning the scrolling through items. That is a quality of life that was added to the randomizer a few years ago. And as someone who was initially against that, I've definitely grown to love it over time. It's just so nice just being able to do that instead of waiting through the pause menu. It's, you know, you can't argue against a good quality of life change like that. So it's pretty cool, I'll admit. It's just I spent so long trying to, like, figure out the best ways to navigate the menu just to find out, oh, well, I guess I just don't have to do this anymore.
Could I interject with a donation we got?
Interject away.
Okay, so Twitch Nick donated $2.02, and he had to say, likely my last donation for today. Just wanted to say thank you all for putting on this amazing tournament. It's been amazing so far. And thank you as well. And just a general reminder here, we did meet the Zelda prize pack incentive to give away at the end of this block, since we met the $2,000 mark. And for the Pokemon drawings, we still have 5 slots left for them. $30 donation minimum, and you can share in your comment with your donation which Pokemon you would like to be drawn.
Okay, well, we did have an interesting find for Rick just now. He did go back up to the top of Death Mountain. He checked the Ether Tablet, and he found the Tower of Hera small key. So, since we're right next door to Tower of Hera, let's go ahead and, take a little coffee break while we're waiting for these floor tiles to, leave us alone. And we're going to see what we can find here in the basement. Okay, so what do we have here in the basement? We have a small key. Ah, to Ganon's Tower. Okay, wouldn't be too excited about finding that. I think that's actually all the Ganon's Tower small keys. And you definitely don't need all of them, so definitely kind of just extra baggage at this point. But it looks like Rick is actually going back to Turtle Rock. And for him, this definitely makes sense because he was unable to check as much as PTM did. But with all 4 Turtle Rock small keys, he's going to be able to check something that PTM actually skipped earlier, and that's the only chest PTM has in the dungeon. So if this is actually the progression that we need, this could actually be really big for Rick right now. But at the same time, PTM is currently checking Desert Palace, and we have 2 chests here. So we'll see what we can find. Oh, we have a big key to Misery Mire, but we don't have the Quake Medallion yet. Where is that Quake Medallion? Is it right here? Nope, but it's the Fire Rod. That's something else we need, so... Oh boy, this is getting interesting. Very, very interesting. So with that Fire Rod, PowerToMario can finish up Skull Woods. And that's what he's going to be doing first. As far as other uses for that Fire Rod, I think the only other thing he can do right now is check the Fire Rod section of Turtle Rock, which, I mean, he could do that, but he'd need to go to Thieves Town first to get that Ice Rod, otherwise he'd have to come to Turtle Rock for a 3rd time. And that is something you definitely don't want to do. Because it takes so long to get back up here, and... yeah, it can be a bit of a hassle sometimes.
Do we have time to read off another donation?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we have $30 from me, Billy, or him, Billy. And he says, or she says, because we don't really know. The skeletons pull your hair up, but not out. I need a trubbish, but please make it spooky.
Okay, well, there's that trubbish we were looking for.
Yep, we got that filled, and that leaves us with 4 slots left for the Pokemon drawings. And just a reminder, guys, if we get those last 4 slots filled, we will be also doing another raffle for a prize draw for a game code worth up to $60. And all the money collected so far is going towards Stream for a Cause. So thank you so much for everything that has been received so far. They work with nonprofit organizations personally to create sustainable programming and opening over 70 grant opportunities for local communities and volunteer organizations. If you'd like to learn more, you can look below the stream page and look into Stream for a Cause to see more about the charity gaming that they sponsor.
Okay, getting back to the race here, we did see what was in the big chest of Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, it was just a map, so, you know, not going to give Rick any edges on PTM here. But PTM is going to be able to take on Mothula next. Which, he has the Fire Rod, he has the Tempered Sword. This should not be an issue. Even has Red Mail on top of that, so taking damage is not going to be a concern. Although he did get grabbed by that Wallmaster, so let's not forget about that. Okay, PTM, where are you going to go, my friend? I mean, at this point, we know what PTM needs to do. He needs to go to Thieves Town. He needs to get the Ice Rod before he even thinks about going back up to Turtle Rock. And that is kind of his benefit, is that since he only has one chest really waiting for him, I guess technically two, because he has the Fire Rod now, but well, three, since there's two in that room. You know, he's not having he's going to be looking at all the areas around the ground before he thinks about going back up there, so he's not going to be pressured to go back into Turtle Rock at this point unless it's like, you know, his last resort. So hopefully he remembers to, you know, even though he doesn't have the big key, it's 4 quick checks in Thieves Town, so just needs to just hop in there and grab that Ice Rod really quick. And that looks like that is what he's doing. Meanwhile, Rick did just get his hook shot, so he's going to be able to check Hookshot Cave and then ultimately go back to Swamp Palace and finish that up. Okay, so with all of his items in hand, PTM is likely going to be heading back up to Turtle Rock now. But at this point, gonna once again just look at what we need for this seed, at least on PTM's end. All he needs is, oh, it looks like he got the, oh yeah, we already have the big key to Mire, but we need the Quake Medallion, and we need the Thieves Town Big Key, and I think those are the only 2 items that we're still kind of, you know, trying to find. So once we get those 2, and once PTM gets those 2, he will officially be in that go mode state that I was talking about earlier. So Rick is going to be able to pick up the big key to Meyer and the fire rod here shortly. He's going to be likely a little annoyed because he just left Turtle Rock and he could have potentially finished that if he came here first, but it is what it is. You just kind of have to, you know, just take it for what it is and move on. You can't let that beat you up too much. And it looks like on Rick's end, it looks like those are also the only 2 items he's looking for as well. So at this point, like, just kind of looking at the path in front of us. You know, I'm looking at Trinex, the boss of Turtle Rock. I'm looking at the 2 chests in Turtle Rock that we still need to get now that we have the fire rod. At this point, I'm kind of thinking that's either going to give us one of our 2 items, maybe even both. And then from there, we can just kind of finish off the seed from there. Maybe we'll get one of them, and we have to kind of pick and choose where we go with that from there. We'll have to wait and see. Oh yeah, Iceman pointed out that the Desert Palace Small was in the Turtle Rock, so we did have to go there first. That's right. So let's see what we can get from the right side here. Okay, so in here we have a red rupee and the Quake medallion. Okay. So that is one of the 2 items we're still looking for. And I'm trying to kind of figure out what PTM's thinking right now, because, you know, he could have just finished Turtle Rock right then and there. But I think what he's kind of thinking right now is if Misery Mire happens to be the one of the crystal dungeons, because we don't know whether Thieves Town or Misery Mire is our last crystal dungeon. If PTM thinks that Mire is a crystal, and he goes through Mire, gets the crystal, he can go right back up the Turtle Rock, he can finish that, and then immediately do Ganon's Tower right afterwards. So that's what he's kind of hoping for right now, so he can kind of save time without having to, you know, go back up, beat Turtle Rock, just to come back down again to do Thieves Town. But even if this does happen to be a pendant, he can find the Thieves Town big key in here. So there is still that possibility. So that's why he didn't finish Turtle Rock. He's kind of wanting to be able to go straight to Ganon's Tower right after he finishes Turtle Rock. So yeah, it is actually a really smart thought process by PTM right here. He wants to, you know, try to save as much time as he can. Because sometimes in a race like this, like just those little optimizations for how you do things in a certain way can, you know, be all the difference. So just some of the things you have to think about. And yes, unfortunately, right before we got to see what was on the pedestal, Rick's stream kind of blacked out right there. We'll never know. We'll never know what's on there. Who knows? Maybe it's like the silver arrows or something. Oh, That could have been it, but no, that's a big key we don't need. That's the big key to Swamp Palace. Well, hey, maybe big key to Thieves Town. Maybe that's in the big chest of Swamp. Maybe that's what the game wants us to do right now. Oh, yep, okay. We did get the map to Misery Mire while we were in here, so we do know that Mire is a crystal, so you know it was a good thing that PTM did leave this early. Or leave Turtle Rock early, so now right after he finishes Turtle Rock he can just do Ganon's Tower and be done with it. But this also opens up the possibility where the big key to Thieves Town could be in Ganon's Tower. We could be looking through Ganon's Tower, but for a different big key. That's another quality of life thing I like about the randomizer is now when you're in a dungeon, if you have the map, it actually shows a little C or P icon in the top left, which actually tells you whether it's a crystal or pendant. That way, if you can't be bothered to, you know, look at the map, you always have that indication. And even if you do already know, if you looked at the map, well, it's a nice reminder too. Like maybe you have it like marked wrong on your tracker or something. So. Okay, so we still haven't found the big key to Thieves yet. Oh man, that's gonna start to be like potentially anywhere. It can be anywhere except in the back of Thieves Town at this point. Yeah, I definitely agree with Sizz in chat saying that, you know, using like kind of a hint system of sorts, or just, you know, these little optimizations and quality of life upgrades, they really make the randomizer interesting. And Link to the Past Randomizer, I mean, it's a randomizer I've been playing for many years now, and you know, I love it for those reasons, but I also love it for all just the different types of randomization you can do. Like, we're seeing purely an item randomization here, but, you know, you can also randomize, like, what enemies appear in locations. You can randomize the bosses you face. You can randomize entrances in the overworld. And, you know, you can even randomize, like, dungeon layouts now, too. That's another thing that's recently come out, so... Link to the Past Randomizer has a lot going for it, so it's consistently stuck as one of my most played randomizers because of it. But PTM fighting off against Vitreous. Thankfully, he still had that fairy from earlier. Just has to shoot a few arrows into the eye, and that will take care of Vitreous. Give him a heart piece, so we are still looking for that Thieves Town big key, but I think it's likely that he's going to go back to Turtle Rock now to kind of start working on getting to Ganon's Tower. While we're kind of waiting for that, if there are any donations or any announcements that need to be made, go right ahead and make those.
Okay, sure thing. So we have from Battle On, who donated originally $25, but also added an additional donation for another $5 so that he could request a Pokemon drawing for the creative block. He says, final stretch incoming. Let's go PTM and Rick. And then he was off by $5 for that dono incentive, so he fixed that. And he is requesting Wooper. Give me Wooper or give me still Wooper.
Well, you're not really giving us a lot of options there, Battle On. But...
Wooper's still a nice choice, though. I love
yeah.
it. And then we also got a $25 from SoyHR. I'm not sure actually how to read that name there, if I said that right or not. But it says, go PTM, go Rick. Not sure who to root for. But thank you all so much for the donations. And with the Pokemon drawings, we are down to just 3 slots left. Minimum $30 donation will get you a slot for that. And in your donation comment, just share which Pokemon you would like the people for the block to draw. Still 3 slots left, though.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate all the donations coming in. Okay, so both of our runners are back in Turtle Rock. Looks like Rick is just opting to kind of see this through. He's not gonna dip out and go back to Misery Mire. But that is okay. You know, he might end up getting, like, you know, the other item he needs. Like, he might find. I mean, TTM is going to get it as well if it's on Trinex, but, you know, that could be what he's thinking here. Well, actually, I just realized he hasn't even gotten the Quake Medallion yet. It looks like he's going to the back first. Okay, that works too. I mean, you warp to the front once you beat the dungeon, so he's going to be able to pick that up anyway. Okay, it looks like Rick is the first to take on Trinex. Takes out both the fire and ice head. Now just needs to focus on the main body. And there we go. Just as Rick finishes his crystal animation, PTM starts his. And looks like Rick is going to be heading to Hyrule Castle. He does still need to do the Aga Tower climb, so he's still got some work to do. And PTM is entering Ganon's Tower. Like I said, we are still looking for that Thieves Town Big Key. That's the one item that both Rick and PTM are looking for. It is actually worth noting that did Rick not get the Quake medallion? Yeah, I don't think he got the Quake medallion. He actually left those behind in Turtle Rock. Okay, well, that's a bit unfortunate. Was probably, once again, kind of going on autopilot right there. You know, he beat the dungeon, it's like, oh, let's move on to the next one, kind of forgetting that he still had those 2 checks to make. So, unfortunately, that is what he's currently looking for right now. And while this is happening, PTM is just going to be checking Ganon's tower.
Do we have time for another donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, originally it started with 25, but they also donated another 5 so they could request a Pokemon drawing. It's from Monkey, who says, I won't get the chance to watch much on the marathon, but I do want them to draw a Xurkitree, so put this toward the Pokemon drawing. Thank you for the donation. And that officially leaves us with just 2 slots left, guys. So $30 donations for the Pokemon drawings later this evening. And just as a reminder, if we do get all 16 filled, we're also going to add a prize drawing for the game code for a $60 game. So there's still some time left. Just get those donations in.
Okay, so still looking for the Thieves Town Big Key, but Ganon's Tower has a lot of item locations on the table here. I believe 27 item locations, if I'm not mistaken. Also 27. PTM does find these silver arrows. That's going to make fighting the boss a bit quicker, and also finds the Thieves Town Big Key in the same room. PowerToMario is officially in go mode, and he's actually, you know, pretty close to being done with this run. All he needs to do is finish Ganon's Tower. Once he beats that, he needs to go over to Thieves Town, finish that up, and then after that, he can go straight to the Ganon fight. So, I'd say within like around 10 minutes, he should be wrapping up here, so that's all he needs to focus on. Unfortunately, AdirondackRick is in the unfortunate position of needing to go back up to Turtle Rock so he could find his Quake medallion. Unfortunately, left it behind accidentally, so this is looking to be a clear road ahead for PTM taking this race at this point. Yeah, definitely want to give a huge shout out to both of our runners here, AdirondackRick and PowerToMario. Kind of talked about this early on in the run, but both of them very, very great friends of mine. I've known, we were actually talking about this earlier in the Mario Party Superstars block, but I've actually known PTM for 15 years. 15 years ago, I met him on the internet. We did a bunch of Mario trivia together. ended up in a co-op YouTube channel. I've been, very great friends ever since. AdirondackRick, I met when I first started playing Link to the Past Randomizer. He was, very helpful in terms of not just me, learning the game, but also just being, a great mentor of sorts when it comes to, doing commentary for these types of races, because in addition to playing Randomizer, I also do a lot of commentary for Link to the Past Randomizer tournament matches. He, gave me a lot of coaching on that, and also just the game in general. And, it's been a great honor commentating for not just two tremendous runners, two tremendous people, but just two tremendous friends of mine. And I'm happy that I was able to kind of get on the mic for this one. Okay, so PowerToMario is about to face off against Aga 2. Aga 2 now with clones. Once again, need to get 6 hits. Sometimes if you're lucky you can get 3 in one cycle, but kind of heavily depends on the layout you get with the clones, because sometimes it can be a little difficult to get that lucky, but not doing too bad. This looks like a good 3 or 4 cycle setup right there, so able to take him down. All PTM has to do now is just go over to Thieves Town, which is not too far away from where he is, beat that dungeon, and then beat Ganon. So since PTM does have to walk over to Thieves Town, do we have any donations or stuff we can look at before he gets over there?
We actually do. We have one donation. It's from QFire303, and they donated $30. There's no comment, though. But just wanted to throw out there are 2 Pokemon drawing slots available left for the creative block. So I'm not sure if they had a comment, but we do have 2 slots left, and that's for anyone else who also wants to donate as well.
Yeah, so if the person who donated has a way to get in touch with us, if there is a Pokemon you wanted to, claim for those last 2 slots, feel free to let us know so we can get that marked for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, it's important. Make sure when you comment, or when you donate, make sure that you leave a comment with your donation as well.
Okay, so unfortunately, since it's not boss shuffle, PTM will have to go all the way to the basement to retrieve the maiden, aka the fake maiden, the thief, and bring them to the boss room. And boss shuffle, the boss is just waiting for you in the boss room already, so we'll have to spend a little bit of time here, but it's still not a very long dungeon even with that. Yep, but that is how it works, Kingo. And even if it randomizes in the blind, blind will still be waiting for you there. It's just the feature of boss shuffle. Okay, with blind trailing PTM, just needs to go downstairs, go to the right, go up, and he will be doing the penultimate fight of the seed. So we're likely just going to see a save and quit from him after he's done. Gonna warp back to the pyramid and then just take on the final boss of this race.
And if I could interject real quick for an update.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so we did get confirmation. Qfire 303 submitted for Entei, so that does leave one slot left for the Pokemon drawings. So first come, first serve on that, guys. And if we get that last slot filled, we're also adding the prize drawing for a game worth up to $60 of your choice. Get those donations in. There's still time. And thank you for all the donations going towards Stream for a Cause.
Yep, just one more Pokemon, guys. One more. Okay, there's the save and quit from PTM. Here we go. We are facing off against Ganon.
And could I interject with a donation real quick?
Go right ahead.
So the last slot has been filled. Madam Toadstool donated $30 and said, "Gotta get that big koi Lapras in there." Oh yeah.
Ooh, how coy! How coy of you,
So coy,
Coach. Such a coy move right there.
Absolutely. All the slots have been filled, so 16 drawings with 8 fusions out of it. Thank you guys so much, and we're very appreciative for all the donations. You guys rock it. Thank you all.
Yeah, definitely, guys. I mean, I think that's like around $500 for this block alone, at least. Thank you guys so much. Your generosity means a lot to us. Okay, so PTM is entering the final phase of Ganon. Has the silver arrows, so this will be a very quick 4-arrow fight here. Not sure if he'll get him on this one torch cycle, but that's okay. Just needs to do one more. And there we go. Ganon is down. And it looks like PowerToMario has finished this race with a time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 26 seconds. And looks like Rick has also kind of paused. Oh yeah, he's actually forfeited the race. He is not going to continue on, understandably so. Unfortunately, just kind of ran into that issue where it's just, you know, you're going through all the motions, and then you just kind of forget one small thing. You're kind of retreading old ground just to find it. Okay. Now, I am not sure if we're gonna get them in here for any sort of like post-race interview. I know we're kind of a little behind schedule as it is. I'm gonna wait for the confirmation on that before I do or say anything. Because I know we do have Jackbox coming up here, so. Okay, we're gonna have to make this very, very quick, so.
Comes in.
Yeah, it's chill, so yeah, just you can interrupt whenever.
Okay.
Good? Her audio is
Yo.
good?
Walking in like, you get it?
I walked in with this big thumbs up and I'm like, oh, we're all good? And you're like, I don't know. I wasn't checking anything.
GG,
It's
Steve
been really
Daddy.
fun being you, though. And then seeing you be me. I'm like, just so...
Well, because I went on my phone and I was like, confused. Like, what was I confused about? Almost in the other room.
And then Zebra joined the waiting room, and I was like, oh, Bill joined. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like his voice, though. And I'm like, wait, I'm Bill. Never mind, that's me. Yeah, I am too.
Oh, they can hear us. Am I supposed to talk?
I don't think we're supposed to talk, guys, but I just want you to know that this is hype. That's all I could come up with.
This is Rawson.
Totally
on
awesome.
purpose.
Raw and awesome. It's gotta be rawsome, you guys. Haunted. Who's big haunt?
What? I'm quiet?
Cause I'm a ghost.
Okay, sorry, we're having a little little tech problem here. Not really a tech problem, just someone's desktop audio accidentally getting broadcasted.
Hey there.
Okay, we are being joined by AdirondackRick and PowerToMario. PowerToMario, I hope your desktop audio is no longer playing.
Yep. By the way, SGM, that was all me. I apologize. I'm sure Madam's not sorry though because she got to go. Woo.
Okay.
GG, Rick. Thanks for racing, man.
Absolutely. I first of all, I would like to thank Odin for having us be here to do this, and then secondly, I would like to thank Spectrum for continuously disconnecting me throughout the entire thing.
Oh man.
You know, it's kind of hard to keep your concentration going when you're constantly hearing blue 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 blue.
That'll do it.
Anyways, that's a tough mistake to make right there. Not going back in for the fire rod block stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of talking like during it. Is that's just what happens sometimes. You're always kind of on autopilot when it comes to these races. You know, you beat Trinex all the time, and when you do that, you're thinking, okay, let's move on to the next dungeon. And you know, like, was your intention initially just to, like, you know, after you beat Trinex, go back in and you just kind of like slipped it out of your mind or something? Or
it just was never on my mind when I went in there the first time around. It was like it just was never on the mind that I still had to do the right hand side.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then as the items started to dry up, it just started to become now I know I've missed something, and that's when the thing happened. I tried actually resetting the tracker and just wanting to see if there was any spots that I saw the item earlier on, and I had just dismissed it, but it turned out to be nope. The answer was a spot that I was never going to get back to, which was Turtle Rock, and that's a thing that can happen in either an all dungeons key sanity or a cross key, so it happens. But I'll let you talk to PowerToMario here because I know you got a time limit here.
Okay. Well, PTM, definitely GG, you know, despite, you know, getting grabbed by the Wallmaster, and despite not picking up the 20 after Zora, which could have given you enough money for chest game. But, you know, despite those, you still were able to kind of keep things moving. I think one of the main indicators was you definitely dipped into Ice Palace a lot sooner than what Rick did, so that was able to give you those Pegasus boots, which kept you kind of moving fast through a good portion of the seed. So definitely GG on that call, and definitely just GG on winning the race. You've come a very long way from not even playing the vanilla game like 1 year ago, was it? Was that the?
Yep. Last month was a year.
By the way, did you know it cost 80 rupees to play the digging game?
I've learned that multiple times. Gone over there with 70 and be like, you need 80.
It's okay. I'm sure chat had enjoyments when they actually did get to see more than 50 frames of me.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, at least you showcased the arrow game right next door. That's always a good thing to do when you have that convenience right next to the digging game.
This game felt like a overall general showcase of almost everything, pretty much.
That's pretty much all AD keys. So yeah, that's pretty much what you got. What you bargained for there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for this race. It was an honor to commentate for both of you. Both of you know that, you both mean a lot to me in different ways. You two are two of my closest friends, and it was a joy to commentate this race. And we do have to kind of get things kind of moving here. But if you guys just want to do a quick sign off, let us know if there's anything else you're doing for this marathon. Go ahead and do that, and then we will get things moving.
Well, first of all, Sis16 Blush, your comment, Slim. Thank you very much. Iceman, thank you so much for tracking for our race. Very much appreciate it. And I'll be announcing sometime on Sunday, but I'll be here all weekend. So I encourage you all to keep Twitch up and fall asleep tonight with SGM, or stay up for the great races that are happening later on tonight. And we've got Jackbox coming up, right? With Toch and the gang. So looking forward to that.
So I'll be back here tomorrow around 1 o'clock Eastern time for Dr. Mario for the Super Nintendo. And hopefully in that game, I won't forget any certain pieces like I did here. But who knows? Thank you for Odin for having us here. Thank you to Slim and Iceman for helping out on the crew with this, and PowerToMario. GG's to you, and best wishes.
You too, man.
Thank you, guys. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign out myself. I'll be back for my Super Bomberman block on Sunday. But aside from that, thanks for all the donations. I really appreciate it. And let's get moving on to Jackbox.
Bye.
Is his name Grip?
Who?
The guy. The guy with defending.
Which guy? The little clock from Beauty and the Beast?
It's not Grip, it's Cogsworth.
You idiot!
Okay, and that was an amazing run with Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer, but we're also going to do a drawing since we met the $2,000 mark, which we're about to get started soon. I'm going to pass off my announcing duties over to Zabragburger, who's going to be taking over now, but I will be returning tomorrow afternoon for Mario Party 2 minigame coaster, along with Madame Mori and Madame Toadstool for co-commentary, and also later on in the evening with Bill the Fajita for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Community Tournament. So I will see all of you then. Take care.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Zebra, or Zabrag, or Zabragburger. Call me what you like. Stoked to be here. Announcing the next couple blocks. We got some good stuff coming up. We got some Jackbox and Pokemon. And I believe we are going to be doing a giveaway shortly. Let me see if I got the go-ahead to get that started. Hope you guys have been having a good marathon so far. I know I've been having a blast. All right, cool. We are going to do the Zelda prize pack giveaway now. Get those typing fingers ready. And the code word is Zelda. Type in Zelda and you'll be entered into the Zelda prize pack giveaway. Who's gonna get it? A lot of Zeldas. Got one link. And it looks like Gamer David has won the giveaway. Yo, big congrats, Gamer David. That is one Zelda prize pack coming your way. Alrighty, let's see. Do we have any donations before we get into this? Nope, not at the moment, but I believe we just filled the Pokemon incentive, so we might have that next incentive coming up very soon, so stay tuned. Just a reminder, we're raising money for Charity Gaming. Charity Gaming is a non-profit that provides video games to children in hospitals to help make them feel like kids again. Every day, 43 children are diagnosed with cancer. And our goal here this weekend for 15,000 is to be able to get 43 Nintendo Switches and games for those children. So every little bit counts.